You get one bad email, and your entire day collapses. Someone leaves a negative comment on your photo, and you lose sleep over it. You watch a 15-second news clip about a potential crisis, and your mind spirals into anxiety for the next 3 hours. Does this feel familiar? We are living in an age of unprecedented comfort, yet we have become emotionally fragile. We are safe, yet we are constantly anxious. We are connected, yet we feel isolated. We have more information than ever, but less wisdom. We are a leaf in the wind, pushed and pulled by every external event, every notification, every opinion of a stranger. Now, contrast this with a man riding in a freezing tent on the edge of a bloody battlefield, surrounded by plague and death. That man, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Contrast our fragility with a man who was banished from his home, lost his fortune, and suffered from a chronic illness. That man, Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest citizens, wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Contrast us with a man who was born a slave. His leg was intentionally broken by his master. He had nothing. Yet Epictetus became one of the most influential teachers of freedom, stating, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." These men, an emperor, a politician, and a slave, faced a world infinitely more brutal than ours, yet they possessed a mental resilience that seems superhuman, an unbreakable mind. How? Their secret was not philosophy as a theory. It was philosophy as a practice. A daily training system, a set of mental exercises designed to forge resilience, tranquility, and an unshakable inner core. The world is not getting calmer. 2025 is coming, and it will be filled with chaos, uncertainty, and noise. You cannot change that. But you can change yourself. You can stop being the leaf and start becoming the rock. Today, we move beyond the quotes. We are opening the lost training manual of the Stoics. These are the 7 practical exercises that will make you mentally unbreakable in 2025.
The first exercise is the foundation for all the others. It is the single most important principle in Stoicism. If you only master this one, your life will change forever. It's called the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, the slave-turned-philosopher, taught it this way: some things are within our control, and some things are not. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But think about where 99% of your mental energy goes. Think about your anxiety, your anger, your frustration. Where does it come from? It comes from a life spent trying to control the uncontrollable. We are obsessed with things in the second category. We try to control the stock market. We try to control the weather. We desperately try to control what other people think of us. We get furious when we are stuck in traffic, a literal attempt to control the movement of thousands of other humans in metal boxes. This is the definition of insanity. It is the source of all our modern misery. The Stoics argued that your life is like a game of archery. You, the archer, can control some things. You can control your training, how often you practice. You can control your preparation, how well you check your bow and arrows. You can control the exact moment you choose to release the arrow. All of this is in your power. But the instant that arrow leaves your bow, it enters the realm of the uncontrollable. You cannot control a sudden gust of wind. You cannot control if the target suddenly moves. You cannot control if the sun gets in your eyes. You can do everything right and still miss. The modern mind focuses only on the target. We attach our entire self-worth, our entire peace of mind to whether or not the arrow hits the bullseye. And when the wind blows, when we get laid off, when someone betrays us, when the algorithm changes, we collapse. We blame the world. We blame ourselves. We fall into despair. The Stoic archer is different. Their focus is not on hitting the target. Their focus is on being the perfect archer. Their goal is a well-shot arrow. They train, they prepare, they aim, they release with perfect form, and then they let go. If the arrow hits, that's wonderful. If it misses due to the wind, that is also fine. They have done their part. Their tranquility is intact. This is not passive. This is the ultimate active detachment. So, here is the exercise. It's called the circle technique. I want you to take a piece of paper right now, or just do this in your mind. Draw a small circle in the very center. Inside this circle, write down the things truly and 100% within your control. What is in there? My choices, my reactions, my intentions, the effort I put in, the words I choose to speak, the person I choose to be. That's it. The list is very, very short. Now, outside that circle, write down everything you are currently worried about. My boss's mood, if my partner still loves me, the economy, my follower count, that deadline I missed last week, what they will think of me at the party. Look at your paper. This is a map of your anxiety. You are living your entire life in the outer ring. You are an archer obsessed with the wind. The exercise is this. For the next 24 hours, vow to live only inside that inner circle. When your boss is in a bad mood, you will catch yourself. You cannot control their mood. That is outside your circle. You can only control your response. Will you be professional? Will you be compassionate? Will you be calm? That is your choice. When you feel anxiety about the future, you will stop. The future is outside your circle. You can only control the actions you take right now, in this present moment, to prepare for it. This is the hardest work you will ever do, but it is the only work that matters. Every ounce of energy you pull back from the uncontrollable outer ring and reinvest into your inner circle, that energy becomes your strength. It becomes your peace. Do this, and you will have taken the first giant step toward becoming unbreakable.
The second exercise is darker. It feels counterintuitive. In our modern world, we are told to think positive, to manifest good vibes only. The Stoics called this toxic optimism. They saw it as a path to weakness. If you only prepare for good, you will be shattered by bad.
Their exercise was the opposite. It is called Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, practiced this relentlessly. He wasn't just wealthy. He was the modern equivalent of a billionaire tech founder, the tutor to the emperor. Yet he would spend days intentionally imagining the worst-case scenarios. What if I lose all my money? What if I am exiled from my home? What if this illness I have takes a turn for the worse? What if the emperor, my student, turns on me? Which, by the way, he eventually did. He would write in his letters, "I am meditating on the worst so that I may be prepared for it." This sounds morbid. Why would anyone do this? Because the human mind is destroyed by one thing above all: surprise. It's not the event itself that breaks us. It's the shock of the event. It's the gap between our rosy expectations and the harshness of reality. When you lose your job, the primary pain isn't just the loss of income. It's the shock. This wasn't supposed to happen. This isn't fair. Premeditatio Malorum closes that gap. It is not pessimism. It is a vaccine. You are intentionally exposing your mind to a small, controlled dose of disaster, so that if the real disaster ever strikes, you will have built an immunity. When the pandemic hit, who panicked? The people who had never considered that their lives could be disrupted. The people who were shocked, angry, and felt personally victimized by reality. The person practicing this exercise, however, would have thought, "Okay, I've considered this. I've imagined a world where I can't leave my home, where my supply chains are cut. It's not good, but I am not in shock. I am ready to act." So, here's the exercise. I call it the 5-minute morning disaster drill. Do not do this at night. This is not meant to create anxiety. Do it in the morning when your mind is strong. Take 5 minutes and ask yourself, what could go wrong today? Not in a vague, anxious way. Be specific. I have a huge presentation. What if the projector fails? I am meeting a client. What if they are angry and aggressive? I am driving to work. What if I get a flat tire? Then, for each one, do 2 things. First, realize you would survive. Okay, a flat tire. It's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. This defangs the fear. Second, and more importantly, make a plan. If the projector fails, I have my presentation on my laptop and printed copies in my bag. I will turn it into a more intimate, conversational pitch. If the client is angry, I will not match their energy. I will listen. I will validate their feelings. I will stick to the facts. I will practice the dichotomy of control. If I get a flat tire, I will check right now that my spare tire is good and my roadside assistance card is in my wallet. Do you see what just happened? You've transformed vague, paralyzing anxiety into a concrete, actionable plan. You've short-circuited fear. When you walk into your day having already faced and planned for the worst, you walk with a different kind of confidence. You are not a fragile optimist hoping for the best. You are a calm realist, prepared for anything. You are no longer afraid of the storm. You've already danced with it in your mind.
The third exercise is a powerful antidote to the sickness of the modern ego. We live in a world that revolves around me, my feed, my problems, my brand, my feelings. We are the main character in our own movie, 24/7. And because of this, our problems feel enormous. A simple insult feels like an attack. A small disagreement with a partner feels like a catastrophe. We are trapped in the tiny, claustrophobic prison of our own perspective. Marcus Aurelius, the man who ruled the known world, felt this too, and he developed an exercise to combat it. He called it the view from above. It is a profound act of mental zooming out. He would practice this in his journal. He would write, "Look down from above at the countless herds of men, the countless ceremonies, and every kind of voyaging in storm and calm, and the differences between those who are being born, living, and dying." This is a meditative practice, and you can do it right now. Close your eyes. Pause. Picture yourself, sitting or standing, right where you are. See the room you are in. Now float up as if you are on the ceiling. Look down at that small figure. Pause. Float higher. See the building you are in. See the street, the other cars, the other people, all moving like tiny ants, each with their own urgent private dramas. Float higher. See your entire city, a patch of light on the skin of the continent. See the weather pattern swirling over it. Higher still, see the earth, a beautiful, silent, blue and white marble, hanging in an infinite black void. Pause. See it spinning. No borders, no noise, just peace. Higher. See our solar system, our sun, a small star among billions. Higher. See our galaxy, the Milky Way, a swirl of light, a tiny speck of dust in an ocean of billions of other galaxies. Now, from this vantage point, from the cold, silent expanse of the cosmos, let's look for that problem you were having 10 minutes ago. That email, that insult, that thing you are so angry about. Where is it? Pause. It has vanished. It has been dissolved by perspective. This is not to say your problems aren't real. They are, but they are not everything. The view from above is the ultimate ego killer. It doesn't solve your problem, but it shrinks its power over you. It reminds you that the world does not revolve around you, that your life is a tiny, beautiful, fleeting part of something incomprehensibly large. This is the practice. I call it the cosmic perspective shift. The next time you feel overwhelmed by anger, rage, or anxiety, the next time you feel your ego is bruised, stop. Take 30 seconds. Float up. See yourself from the ceiling, from the city, from space. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year, in 5 years? Will this matter on my deathbed? Ask yourself, is this event, this person, this insult worth my inner peace? The answer, from the quiet stillness of the stars, will almost always be no. You will float back down into your body, but something will be different. The problem is still there, but it is small. You are large. You have perspective. You are, in that moment, unbreakable.
This next exercise is a direct assault on the weakness created by our modern world. We are addicted to comfort. We crave perfect 72-degree Fahrenheit temperatures. We crave soft beds, fast food, instant entertainment, and zero friction. And this addiction has made us soft. We have confused comfort with happiness. And in doing so, we have built a beautiful, climate-controlled prison for ourselves. Our tolerance for any inconvenience has become zero. This is why a small inconvenience, like the Wi-Fi being slow, can send us into a spiral of genuine frustration.
We have the bodies of adults, but the resilience of a spoiled child. The Stoics saw this coming 2,000 years ago. Seneca wrote, "A man who has never been in distress is a novice. He has not been hardened by practice." Cato the Younger, a Stoic statesman and the mortal enemy of Julius Caesar, was famous for his practice of voluntary discomfort. He would intentionally wear thin, rough clothing in the winter. He would walk barefoot on the hot Roman stones. He would go days eating only the simplest, blandest food. Why? Was he a masochist? No, he was training. He was teaching his body, and therefore his mind, a critical lesson. I can endure. I am not a slave to my appetites. I am stronger than my comfort. He was building calluses on his mind, just as a weightlifter builds calluses on his hands. When the time came for real hardship, when he had to lead his army across the burning deserts of Africa, his men were broken by the heat, the thirst, the grit. But Cato, who had been training for this his entire life, was unfazed. We are not facing deserts. We are facing layoffs, difficult conversations, and personal crises. But the principle is the same. If you have never practiced choosing the hard path, you will fold when life forces the hard path upon you. So here is the exercise. It's the weekly resilience drill. You must, on a regular basis, choose to be uncomfortable. This is not about self-harm. It's about building strength. Start small. Take a cold shower. Just 30 seconds at the end of your normal shower. The internal scream your mind produces, "Don't do it, it's warm, stay here," that is the voice of weakness. By stepping into the cold, you are telling that voice, "I am in charge, not you." Fast. Skip a meal. Intentionally feel the pang of hunger and recognize that it is just a sensation. It will not kill you. You are mastering your biology. Leave your phone in another room for an entire evening. Feel the itch to check it. Feel the phantom vibrations. This is a withdrawal. Recognize it. Sit with it. Let it pass. Prove that you own the technology. It does not own you. Sleep on the floor for one night, as Seneca did. You will wake up sore. You will also wake up with the profound, embodied knowledge that you do not need a $2,000 mattress to survive. Every time you do this, you are making a deposit in your resilience bank. You are proving to yourself in a physical, undeniable way that you can handle more than you think. When a real crisis comes, when the AC of your life breaks, you will be the only one in the room who is not panicking, because you know how to be uncomfortable. You have trained for this.
This next exercise is perhaps the most famous and the most misunderstood. It consists of two simple words, Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. In our culture, this is a taboo. We hide death away. We see it as a failure, something morbid and depressing to be avoided at all costs. The Stoics saw it as the ultimate motivator, the ultimate tool for clarity. They believed that the primary reason we are unhappy, anxious, and waste our lives is because we live under the illusion of immortality. We act as if we have infinite time. We say, "I'll do it tomorrow." We stay in the job we hate. We put off the difficult conversation. We hold grudges. We leave the important words, "I love you," "I'm sorry," unsaid. We live in a state of perpetual someday. Memento Mori is the sword that cuts through that illusion.
Steve Jobs, in his famous Stanford commencement address, talked about this exact Stoic principle. He said, "Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the best tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important." That is the power of this exercise. It is not depressing, it is focusing. It is a filter that separates the trivial from the vital. So here is the practice. It's the deathbed test. You don't need a skull on your desk, though some Stoics did. The practice is mental. When you are faced with a choice, especially a difficult one, apply this test. Choice 1, the trivial. You are angry at a stranger in traffic. Apply the test. On my deathbed, will I be glad I spent these 5 minutes of my precious, finite life fuming at this person? The answer is immediate. The anger vanishes. Choice 2, the fearful. You have an opportunity to start a new business, to ask someone out, to move to a new city. But you are afraid. You are afraid of failure, of what people will think. Apply the test. On my deathbed, which will I regret more? Trying this and failing, or never having tried at all and spending the rest of my life wondering, what if? This is the antidote to fear. Fear of failure is a small fear. The regret of an unlived life is a terror. Memento Mori forces you to choose the path of courage. Choice 3, the present. You are at home. Your child, your partner, your parent wants to talk to you, but you are busy looking at your phone. Apply the test. Remember, I will die and they will die. This moment, right here, is all I am guaranteed. Is this scroll more important than this connection? It is a tool that forces you into the present moment. It makes you live. Do not be afraid of this thought. Use it. Let it strip away your fear. Let it destroy your procrastination. Let it force you to be honest, to be brave, and to love right now. That is how you build a life free of regret. That is how you become unbreakable.
If the other exercises are the training, this one is the film review. It's where you analyze the tape. It's where you separate experience from wisdom. It's the Stoic journal. This is not a Dear Diary, Today I Felt kind of journal. This is not a gratitude journal, though that is valuable. This is a warrior's journal. It is a tool for self-assessment and strategic improvement. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, that was his private journal. It was never meant to be published. It was a 10-year record of him applying these exercises, scolding himself, reminding himself of his principles, and fighting to be a better man in the most stressful job in the world. Seneca, too, had a specific, powerful journaling practice. He would review his day every single night, without fail. He wrote, "When the lamp is removed, I examine my entire day, and I go over my deeds and my words. I hide nothing from myself. I pass nothing by." We live our lives on autopilot. We make the same mistakes day after day, week after week. We snap at our partner. We waste time on social media. We react with anger. And we wake up the next day and do it all over again, wondering why our life isn't changing. Why? Because we have zero self-awareness. We are not learning from our own lives. The Stoic journal stops this loop. It forces you to become an objective observer of your own behavior. Here is the exercise. It's Seneca's 3-question evening review. Before you go to sleep, take 3 minutes, not 30, just 3. Open a notebook and answer these 3 questions with ruthless honesty. Question 1. What did I do wrong today? Where did I fail my principles? Where did I let the uncontrollable bother me? Where did I act out of anger or fear or ego? Example, I was impatient with my colleague. I spoke to them with sarcasm. That was a failure of kindness. Question 2. What did I do right today? Where did I succeed? Where did I choose virtue? Where did I practice a Stoic exercise? Example, I felt the urge to complain about the rain, but I practiced Amor Fati, which we'll get to, and chose to be grateful for it instead. Example, I was stuck in traffic, and instead of getting angry, I practiced the dichotomy of control and listened to an educational podcast. Question 3. What will I do differently tomorrow? This is your actionable plan. How will you correct the failures of today? Example, tomorrow I will apologize to my colleague, and I will make a specific plan to listen for 10 seconds before reacting in any meeting. This is it. This simple 3-minute practice is a superpower. You are now creating a feedback loop for your character. You are no longer sleepwalking. You are iterating on yourself. Do this for 30 days and you will be a different person. Do this for a year and you will be unrecognizable. You will have proof that you are growing, not just aging. You will be building a mind that learns, adapts, and hardens day by day.
We have arrived at the final exercise, the 7th. It is, without question, the most difficult. It is the final boss of Stoicism, but it is also the key to ultimate, unbreakable freedom. It is Amor Fati, the love of fate. It's one thing to endure what happens. It's another thing to accept what happens. But it is a completely different level, a divine level, to love what happens. To not just be okay with the obstacle, but to embrace it. To see it not as a bug, but as a feature. To understand that the obstacle is the way. This is the opposite of the modern why me culture. When something bad happens, you get sick, you lose your job, you get your heart broken. What is our default reaction? This shouldn't be happening. This is not part of the plan. This is a mistake. Why me? We fight reality. We complain. We become bitter. Amor Fati is the high-level practice of saying, this is exactly what was supposed to happen. This is not a setback. This is my new path, and I will not just walk it, I will love it. The story of Thomas Edison is a perfect modern example. His entire laboratory, his life's work, burned to the ground. Millions of dollars in equipment, decades of research, all gone in an instant. As he stood watching the flames, his son ran up to him, devastated. Edison, 67 years old, just watched the fire for a moment. Then he turned to his son and said, "Go get your mother and all her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again." His son thought he was crazy. He said, "Father, we're being wiped out." Edison put his arm around him and said, "It's all right. We've just gotten rid of a whole lot of rubbish." The next day, he told a reporter, "I'm not too old. I've just been given a clean slate. We're going to start rebuilding tomorrow." That is Amor Fati. It is not just acceptance. It is a joyful, creative, opportunistic embrace of fate. It is the deep understanding that the universe is not happening to you. It is happening for you. The fire, the layoff, the breakup, these are not punishments.
They are assignments. They are the universe handing you the exact raw material you need to build the next, stronger version of yourself. So here is the final exercise. It is a mental reframing. I call it the opportunity filter. The next time something bad happens, you must, as quickly as possible, ask yourself this one question. How can this be the best thing that has ever happened to me?
So let's return to the beginning. The mind that collapses from one bad email. The soul that is pushed and pulled by every external event. These 7 exercises are the path out. They are not a one-time fix. They are a daily practice. The dichotomy of control frees you from anxiety. Premeditatio Malorum frees you from fear. The view from above frees you from ego. Voluntary discomfort builds your physical and mental toughness. Memento Mori frees you from procrastination and fills you with purpose. The Stoic journal turns your experience into wisdom. And finally, Amor Fati transforms every obstacle into your fuel. This is a system, an operating system for the human mind. When you practice them, they weave together. You cannot control that the storm has come, but you can control your response. You can love that the storm has come because it gives you a chance to practice being a warrior. You can write about it in your journal tonight to learn from it. You can remember that life is short and this storm is a test of your character. This is how you become unbreakable. Not by avoiding pain, not by building higher walls, but by learning to stand in the fire calmly and letting it forge you into something new, something stronger. The world doesn't need another fragile leaf. It needs you, the raw, honest, powerful, unbreakable version of you. And your journey doesn't begin when life gets easier. It begins when you decide you're ready to grow stronger. So I will not ask you to do all 7. That is a path to failure. I will ask you to do what the Stoics did. Start with 1. Just 1. Which one resonated with you the most? Which one did you feel a click of recognition, a yes deep in your soul? Choose that one and practice it, just for this week. Then come back to this video and tell us what you've learned. In the comments, I want you to make a promise, not to me, but to yourself. Write down the one exercise you will practice. Will you practice the dichotomy of control? Will you do the disaster drill? Will you take the view from above? Write it down. Make it real. This is your first step. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Your transformation is waiting. Thank you for training with me.